Terrific. Thank you, everybody. I was just pulling some extra things up here in the background, so hopefully I have everything I need. If not, Laura and or Rachel are going to jump in and help out as well. Thank you to my co-presenters as we start our last Tuesday presentation in this particular series. I appreciate everybody who's here and love to share some of these things that I've developed. This time, of course, even though I've always had my fingers very deeply in the prompts, these two prompts are ones that we're actually using internally. So I'm excited to share these with you. We named this Marketing Multipliers, and you'll see how things get multiplied as we go through some of these prompts. And then you can use AI to help you sell your why, which is really important because nobody wants to buy anything unless they know why it's going to be valuable or important to them. So let's go down through our resources. If you need a free version of a chat GPT, this is what you would type into your browser and go ahead and get started with that. Otherwise, go ahead and open your current AI browser or however you're using your AI. And right now, the ladies are going to be putting a file in your Zoom chat window where you can actually download the slides from today. And so you can go ahead and download those. If there are any links, you can always click on those after the fact. And of course, why we're getting together, we got to have a reason. If you're going to have a party, you got to have a reason for the party, right? So AI, of course, is happening now. It's moving quickly. They're coming out with new versions in ChatGPT. They got the O3 or the O4. There's a bunch of different ones to choose from. There are different reasoning models that you can go out and play with. Lots of things happening, and I have heard speculation that version 5 may be coming at us August-ish, September-ish, and that's right around the corner. So that's going to be some combination. Again, the speculation is it'll be a combination of what we're used to in 4.0 as well as combining it with reasoning models. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So exciting things going on in AI. And of course, it's for us individually and or for team members and or using it for our clients and or training our clients how they can start using AI. We're recording this, and the recordings will be available in 5 to 7 business days, actually, maybe a little longer. We're spreading those recording releases out over a little bit longer time frame. Let more people take a look at them and use them. But of course, you're here live today. So, congratulations, you're getting it right away. And of course, the recordings will be coming at you at some point in the near future. We will close the doors to the workshop when we first start sharing prompts to download. Usually that's 10 to 12 minutes after we start. And this prevents interruptions for the people who do show up on time. And those who do, thank you for doing that. So you're part of the whole crew and what we're going through. And of course, watch out for that confidential information if you're putting information in your AI, because unless you really find a way to block AI from seeing that information, there's a good chance it could be looking at it and using it for its learning curve. Okay, breakout sessions, it depends. Rachel, do you think we'll be having breakout sessions today, or are we of a size that we can stay in a big group?
I think if we have one or two more come, definitely breakout sessions, and we're on the cusp.
Okay. All right. We'll wait and see if there is a breakout session. You'll see something on your screen that tells you how much longer you have before you leave the breakout session. And then when we close the breakout session, it'll feel like we've booted you out into the ecosphere or something. And so don't panic. We'll bring you back into the main room with everybody else. Okay. Of course, I like to tell a story about how I got involved in AI. I've started exploring it now. Gosh, it feels like more than a year and a half. And maybe it is. I maybe should have marked it on my calendar, but it's been a while and I got hooked on it. And the more I used it, the more I liked it. And the other thing is, I saw, gosh, this is a really great way I can get beyond the numbers for my clients. I can help them build their profitability. I can help them get faster and more efficient in what they're doing. That's why I went ahead and I joined a group called Simple AI Consultants. And there are over 100 AI focused consultants in that group where we share AI training and different creative applications about how we're using it. And we do have some great training options through them. So if you want to get in touch with me, I can get you into some of those classes. And there are some free classes as well as paid options. So this is a time I love to stop and say, how are you getting involved with AI? Anything you've worked on lately in your daily work or with your team or with your clients? And we could take about 2 minutes to hear from people in the group, and I'd be happy to have you share. So, Laura, you want to keep an eye on people
I'm
who are
looking for
raising their
raised
hand?
hands. Yes, indeed.
All this work we've been doing is for naught.
Go ahead, Michael.
After Scaling New Heights, Randy Johnson, I think it is, and Brian T, they gave us a prompt to throw in privacy and terms of service agreements that you always have to click on before you do, and to have it summarize and give you the good, bad, and the ugly.
Thank you so much. Next person, Lillian, go ahead.
Hi there. So in my firm, what we do is we create SOPs for all our work, whether it's bookkeeping work or advisory or whatever it is. And AI has been huge in just getting it to a way that is understandable, makes sense, and it's so much better than I could ever do it.
Thank you so much. Lisa,
Terrific.
go ahead and unmute yourself, Lisa.
So we've been using it a few ways, some successful, some not. I really liked the last prompt we did with the financials and getting summaries and KPIs. So we've been using those for our assessments. So we get an assessment, we get the financials, and then we put it all up in the AI and see what it comes back with. And it helps us direct where the conversation is going to go. So we've been successful using that prompt. So again, thank you so much. It's been fantastic. Some of the things that I personally am struggling with is I'm trying to utilize it for template creation. And so I draw it out of what it is that I'd like it to be because I'm a terrible formatter. So I'll draw it out like what it is that I want it to be, and I'll put boxes and stuff in it, and then I upload it and it tries to do it. And when it's reconfiguring, it takes it like a long time to think it through and okay, there's an error here, or there's an error here, or there's an error here. And after probably about 2 or 3 minutes, it'll come back and be, okay, we think we know what you want. Download this and check it out. And either one, it's not downloadable, it's almost like corrupted. So I can't actually open it. And so it'll open it up, or it will suggest a different app that I need in order to utilize that. So I haven't been successful with template creation.
Gotcha.
The templates meaning flowcharts.
No, not really flowcharts, more of, so we're in the process of creating a standardized template so that when we get a prospect, I have a checklist that I use to go through the assessment to say these are the checkpoints that I personally am looking for. We've added checkpoints for the tax department. So that way, if it's someone who wants to do both, and we're trying to merge his template and my template together into these boxes with check marks on it. And then a section for notes, and then an executive summary of recommendations of where we think they fit in our tier program. And that has not been successful. And then I'm also we took Terrell's class, the Golden Age class, where they talk about like employee performance evaluations and how you can take metrics. And so we mapped out what that's going to look like. We created an Excel spreadsheet to where we're tracking errors and how many clients. And so we've been tracking that for each of our staff because it's a small staff. So right now it's doable to play around with. And so we've put in all this data into these spreadsheets, but then when it tries to read it's error after error. Is I can't seem to format it right on the get-go in order to get it to give me usable information.
And I'm going to throw out, sounds like maybe some extra classes could be really helpful. You can sit and experiment for a long time and go down a lot of rabbit holes, which I
I'd
have
rather not.
experienced.
I really like the prompt thing when I'm like, okay, this is what y'all did. This is how it works. Great. I'm
Well, you
more
can
of a
try
copy
learning.
paste girl.
You can try learning from those prompts to see how they're constructed, first of all. Secondly, I would suggest taking some classes because classes will be very helpful for you,
Okay.
I believe. Okay.
We
Yeah.
do have a couple of more folks, Diane, that have provided their hands up. So could I call Dee Boone? Dee, go ahead and unmute
great.
yourself. And I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
You did, you did. You're awesome. I appreciate you so much. My name is Dee Boone of Dee Boone Consulting, and I use AI for so many things, and primarily for my clients in terms of establishing an online brand, web development, brand kits. I teach them three key things: learn what works, love how you show up online, and lead like the boss you are. But for my business specifically, it's about automation as well as sales. I absolutely love the note taking tools because that allows me to stay present in the meeting. I'm not scribbling something, my notes down. I'm with you 100%. And then with sales, I'm able to identify my prospect or my client's personality type and be able to better communicate with them as a result of knowing their style. So that's,
Nice. Thank
yeah,
you so much.
Great.
you're welcome.
And one last hands up is Kim No. Go ahead, Kim, unmute yourself.
I have three things. A, I was able to create with the help of, there's several GPTs. If you go on to Chat GPT, on the left-hand side, there's actually a GPT S. So if you click that, there's all sorts of things. Diane showed me that. And I was able to create a class that I'm going to do as a mastermind on Alignable. I was able, Lisa, to create my discovery and my, what's the word I want? I'm going to say discovery, but that's not the word. Forms to the point where I can connect it right to QuickBooks and it pulls out the discrepancies. Is there error? Yes. But do I have the ability to go back in and double click into it? Yes, it'll take me right to the point. And I used an Excel spreadsheet for that. And then I will let you know that I created last night an entire medical library for my husband, right down to his diagnoses, what the doctors said, what the diagnoses really mean, what medications he's on, a timeline, and it printed out the entire thing in a beautiful little packet. So I don't have to ramble every time I go to the doctors. I just hand it off to them. So
Nice.
that was the best one that came in handy in the last week.
Thank you so much. We appreciate everybody's sharing with us very much.
Yeah, because you can see everybody's using it in different ways. And even if you run into some stumbling blocks, again, some extra classes might be useful. But the big thing is you guys are getting your fingers in and trying it out and getting different results. And now you're sharing with each other as to some of the various things you can be doing with it. So happy to hear that. And you know what? It's what we've been doing this for about 6 months now. And the difference in what I'm hearing from people now as to when we first started is vast. So that's great. So nice to hear that people are getting their fingers into the whole AI realm because
And
it's
just a
coming
heads
at
up.
us.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan, didn't mean to step on
It's
top of you.
okay.
Just a heads up, we will be adding the flat text prompt files for download into our Zoom chat in just a moment. And I'm going to steal the thunder here a little bit. We've got 2 different prompts today. We don't have to go through all of them today, but you'll be able to download them, save them, and reuse them in the future. So back to you, Diane.
Okay. You've had an opportunity to download and save this particular PDF slide deck, and then you're going to download and copy today's prompt. And we might just want to stop and take a look at the prompt before you run it today, because you're probably going to have to go in and add some information in it. But our objective today, and it says today's prompt, it should have said today's prompts in plural. but consider how a blog article might help explain a product or a service that you have and the why for a client to make a change. So that's always, you can always go out and say, oh, we have this service and it provides you with this and this, but really the underlying why is very important, more important than even the steps that you might share with them. And if you have a product or a service that you want to let your whole social network know about, we're going to show you how AI will go out and create different types of articles based upon the platform. Decide which social platforms you want to utilize, so be thinking about that. And then how to ask AI to customize that messaging and hashtags, even that would be right for the platform, and whether AI can suggest or create visuals to accompany the posts. Of course, now you all know because you've sat through the classes that you can add pictures. Go ahead and have AI create pictures for you if you choose. And yeah, all of those are really good things that you can do with some of this output. Just start thinking about how you might want to apply these things to your world. So, we're going to spend about 12 minutes working with your individual results, but let's just take a quick look at the prompts for today. So just give me a moment. I'm going to skinny this up a little bit. And so the first thing is this blog article prompt. And Laura suggested we not start with this one, but at least I'll show it to you. And you're going to want to look through this when you're ready to use it. Maybe it will be after the class if you don't have time to get to it today. But you can go ahead and see what is all the information that is put in here. So again, I developed this for ourselves. And it says choose one or more of these concepts of pain point or frustration. So you get a theme going on in this blog article, or maybe it's a tangible benefit, or, oh gosh, what's the behind the scenes and how does it work? Maybe you're focusing on a user testimonial or success story. And we've got a spot if you wanted another custom angle. I think Dee might want to use something like that, but it's giving you some good places to start and decide which of these you want. And then you ask it to write the blog article using this tone, this voice, this style. These are mine, okay? So you may want to change them for yourself. I had one instructor say she always thinks she's kind of snarky. And so she puts that in there. That would not be me, but you can put your tone in here as you like it. And then it's talking about the SEO strategy. All right. So you guys can keep reading through this. Images suggest 1 to 3 image ideas, each with a file name, an alt text, a title. So if you're doing SEO, you want to have these things in the background and make sure you got a SEO friendly description that goes along with your picture. If you want to add FAQs in, which is Google friendly, you can ask it to do that. And then close the blog with a branded footer block. So if you want things to, and this is an HTML version of our footer, so you would want to change this, change it out. And you'll see that this is a testimonial, what people say. So this is going on our site. So again, I'm sharing our stuff with you. So you're going to have to customize it for yourself. The other one where Laura thought that maybe we should start with this is a little shorter. It's a 4-week social content rotation prompt with visual suggestions. And so I said, I want to create detailed platform specific posts for LinkedIn, for Kit as our email program where you get your reminders and when I send out emails, Facebook, Instagram, and Alignable. And I have here that each platform should have 4 unique weekly posts with deeper content that explains, and again, we're talking about pain points, benefits, testimonial, or a behind the scenes. And then tailor the content to the tone and audience of each platform because each one of those platforms requires a different style of post. and include an optional call to action, CTA, hashtags or referral language where it's appropriate, visual suggestions for all platforms, not just Instagram, to guide the graphics or social images. I want this to be something I can copy into Word and hand off to my VA. And then this is about tone. Please take a more in-depth problem-solving approach rather than writing short or fluffy content. We don't want fluff. So this is the one you may want to start with, but of course you have access to both of these. A little bit of
And
background on
Diane,
them.
just to add, if you start with the social, what I did on mine when I played with it and tested it this morning was the second line says, I'd like to create a 4-week rotation of marketing content for one of my products. So what I did was I went out to our site and I copied the name of our product into that. And then on the please review the full contents of the relevant product or service page, I pasted in the URL of our product. So those were the 2 changes that I made, and then pasted that into ChatGPT and hit enter. And I was amazed at the content output. I just wanted to give you those tips that if you start with this one, you'll want those 2 pieces of information pasted into your text file or into ChatGPT. And then ChatGPT will give you lots of interesting stuff in output.
And I also put in there paste text if needed. Once in a while, you'll run into a situation where it doesn't want to read a web page for whatever reason. Your website might have something blocking bots or something from crawling it. So you'd want to copy and paste the content in from that page. Because I did run into a problem with that. That's why I said paste text if needed. Just be aware of that. So let's go ahead and get our timer started. And we'll spend 12 minutes.
So now is where, for those of our attendees who are fairly new, the next few minutes, we allow you to spend some time focusing on playing with the GPTs. Diane goes mute and it gets really quiet for 12 minutes. We do a 12-minute library session where we let you copy, paste, hit enter, ask questions of ChatGPT, and we're not going away. We're just going to be really quiet. Thank you, Diane.
And to copy everything, you can do a Control A, which will highlight everything, and a Control C, which will copy it. And then when you go into your AI, you're going to do a Control V, which will paste. Or you could right-click copy and right-click paste if that's your style. I'm going to start the timer and we'll see you shortly. Okay, welcome back everybody from deep focus concentration time. And Rachel, I'm going to guess that when I'm looking at our time that probably we won't want to do breakout groups, but maybe quickly try to go around the group and just see. I'm going to move forward into our reflections part of the screens. We have some really good questions for people to respond to in terms of what they were seeing. And did everybody get done with one of their prompts at least? I'm seeing some heads nodding. And so if you guys would just start raising your hands and then we'll go around the group and find out, you can answer any one of these questions or offer something else in terms of what you found.
Go ahead, Kim.
Okay.
Unmute yourself.
Okay, I actually used marketing research and competitive analyst of ChatGPT. And I created an entire marketing campaign for a new venture. And I even asked it to go out and create images and graphics, as I do not know how to use the programs that it asked me to use. So it is doing that right down to creating a 90-day turnaround playbook.
So did you use either one of these prompts or you just did something different?
Nope, I used your prompt and I just
This
tweaked
one?
it a little bit, and I just took pretty much verbatim what you said, but then I turned around and converted what I needed to
Okay.
be a little bit more specific to me and
Okay.
went with it. But your prompt was pretty dang awesome.
Cool. So you did the social content rotation?
I did.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
So you're able to see different results for different types of social platforms?
Yep.
Okay. Good. And then you let ChatGPT take you off to do bigger and grander things, right?
Yeah, I'm on page number 8 of it still creating, as far as in my Word document. Having a blast with it.
Okay. Great. Good to hear that.
All
Okay.
right. Dee, go ahead and unmute yourself. Share with us, please.
Okay. Well, I did the 4-week prompt, and oh my God, yes. It was fantastic. I'm like, oh, nice, super nice. So I have that. Then it came to mind, well, if we're doing it on this particular topic, why not create a landing page from it? I did that, and I'm about to post that. And ladies, thank you. Where have you been all my life?
Well, we're so delighted to have you here. We always love to hear great results like yours, Dee.
That sounds great. And if you get a chance, you can go try the other prompt to come up with a blog article. And you can, even in that blog article, you can say how long you want it to be, because sometimes you want a shorter article, sometimes you want a lengthier one. So when you get a chance, give that a shot as well. Thanks, Dee.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Lillian, go ahead and unmute yourself. Go ahead and
Oh,
talk to us, Lillian.
So I am not as versed as you all are in this, but I did the first one, which is the first post for Pain Point. And I even had it make a picture for me. I was so impressed. And I asked it to talk about my typical client that I wanted in typical sales, talk about the pain points. And I was really impressed how it put it together so nicely and in my own language. It didn't sound like somebody else wrote it. And that's what I really liked about it because it sounded like me.
Nice.
Great.
Did you add anything extra in the spot where you said what you wanted it to sound like?
So I've written a few things in there and I just said, just make it like it's personable for me, like I'm talking to them as a person. And that's exactly what it sounds like. If I read this, I'll be like, oh, okay. It didn't sound like one of these 20 pages that I just don't even want to read. It was short and it was really nice.
Great.
I was quite
Great to
impressed
hear
with
that.
it.
Nice.
Wonderful. Lori, I had seen your hand up a little bit earlier. Would you like to take a moment or two and share with us?
Sure, I always like to share with the group. I did the first one. I did the general blog article on one of our company products. And I'm not a blog writer. I don't do social media, and this is Diane's forte, not mine. But it's super neat to watch it write in my language, in the way that I speak, and to the target audience who I was thinking about. Its description of our product was spot on. It's still running in the background, building a PDF for me with email opt-in copy and a landing page and using our colors and our company website address. So very in-depth prompt. And you could really spend some time going in and really creating a multitude of different blog articles once you got into a role. If you're looking at updating your site and adding a bunch of different blog articles, or using the social media calendar and using the other prompt in order to write those articles for use on your calendar. So they go hand in hand together. And it was a great exercise. So I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Cool. And Laura, you were going to offer something about the
Oh,
prompt for when
may
you
I?
get the results and the HTML and so on. Yeah.
I would like to go ahead and share my screen for a moment, please. We're taking a look at my prompt where I asked it to write the blog article. And this was basically the information that I had provided to it. And then it came back and it gave me the HTML. And I expect that most folks that are here in this group are familiar with writing their blog articles and that type of thing. But I thought it might be interesting to see, instead of actually opening a new post on our WordPress website, I wanted to see what it might look like without having to go through that. So what I did was it provided me with an HTML, and I did a copy. I put it into my flat text editor, and then I'm going to do the paste, and then I gave it a name that ended with HTML. Although it will let me save it here, I'm going to go show you what that looks in my flat text editor when I gave it the name of HTML. That's not very readable, not easy to picture in your mind to get a high level view of what it looks like. So I was able to come over into my file explorer, and I just did a right click on it, and I said open with, and my default browser is Edge. I could open it with any of my browsers. And when I go over to my browser, you can see what that high level looks like just by using that file that's out here on my OneDrive, and it ends with HTML, so you can get a high level overview of what it might look like. And then you can go, okay, that's not bad. Then here's our FAQs. We're pointing to the closing system. And then if I did want to go into our site, I could say, oh, okay, go ahead, and that HTML that I had copied, I went into our site and I said, okay, instead of looking at it in visual mode, which is the pretty mode, I went to the code view. And then when I click preview, you can actually see what it will look like. And it does look different because this has got all of our default headers and that type of thing. But if you don't want to go out to your website to see what it looks like, you can get that brief high-level overview of what it might look like using the HTML. So that's what I wanted to share.
Can I ask Laura a quick question?
Sure.
So I did notice that in my little blog, it had all these little, where it was supposed to be paragraph, etc. If we copy that, and again, I'm sorry because everybody seems to be so much more advanced, but if I copied that and put it into, let's say, a LinkedIn, is that already formatted for me or not?
That I cannot tell you. I'm more familiar with modifying HTML within our website product. I am not going to be able to provide you with any tips on formatting for any of the social folks,
I'll
for
have
any of the
to
social
experiment.
platforms.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You betcha.
Shai might want to respond because Shai does posting into LinkedIn. Shai, if you're available to answer that really quickly, I'll see if anybody else has comments.
Yeah. So for LinkedIn, it really depends if it accepts HTML. So I believe LinkedIn does not have like HTML formatting. So we cannot, if we're going to copy paste it, it will just be like the brackets that it will show up. So we have to prompt it based on how LinkedIn formats it so that we can do the correct prompt or correct result for it that we can copy and paste there.
And that would come out of the prompt where we say, come up with the content for all the different social media platforms for you. Okay, anybody else have any unique output or experiences?
Now that I'm no longer sharing, would you
Oh, I'm
reshare
not.
your screen, please?
Okay, so I will only share our PDFs because that's primarily what we're going to be looking at this point. And I hope you guys will find those prompts helpful for you on the marketing side. So we've gotten our quick takeaways. We didn't get everybody to speak up, but several people did. So in our AI tips today, I just wanted to remind you that at the bottom, as you're entering your request in ChatGPT, assuming you're ChatGPT, look at the bottom of the entry field, and if you click on that little tools icon, all of these things will pop up. And you should, even in the free version, be able to run deep research. I can't swear to that, but I think so. You can create an image, search the web, or write something or code something. So those are extra tools available to you. So there are all sorts of little goodies hiding within your prompt screens. So you'll want to take advantage of those. All right. And looking ahead, this upcoming one will be our last Friday looking at the books. We'll be looking at Simple Rules, How to Thrive in a Complex World. And I decided that this would be a good one to wrap up with because we are living in a very complex world and getting some tips about how do we maneuver our way through some of these complexities that we're encountering would be a good idea. So that's what we'll be doing this coming Friday. And of course, we'll have a prompt to help you extract some of the really good things from this book as it relates to you and your specific business or circumstance. They're talking about a few simple but effective rules. People can beat even the most complex problems. Now, one thing is I have put these little hints and tips over here on the left side. So my question is to you, be thinking about, have you started to implement your quarter 3 plan? Have you scheduled or started your WHAM meetings? And we have been doing this, and it's been very helpful just to keep focused and centered on some of these things that we want to accomplish in quarter 3. And those meetings, we're doing 15-minute meetings. We're very focused on how are you doing on the 2 or 3 things that you selected for the quarter 3 priorities? And I enjoy it. Of course, Shai and Lori are the ones who get to sit in on those meetings, and I'll ask them to nod yes that they think they're very useful. That's the politically correct answer, right? And then one idea to try before our next workshop is go ahead and create a new blog article or a series of social posts from this week's prompts to see how far you can go. And that just takes us to our last slide, which is focused on what we have available on our site.
And
Here we
Diane,
go.
I did just put the link to our AI for Work recorded workshops plus AI prompts. I put
Okay.
the link to that out in our chat. If everybody would just go ahead and click on that because it doesn't put the actual URL, it's just a link to it. And that's where we have our prior workshops. We have the recordings, we've got the prompts, we've got the slides, and any bonus files that we make available. And I just wanted to point that out because all of the slides out there have this last page on it so that you can get to those links as well.
Nice. Thank you for doing that, Laura. And again, thank you to Laura. And we have a couple of Rachels out there. So that's good. And I'm seeing a thumbs up. Thank you, Dee. Appreciate that. And we'll plan on seeing you guys on Friday. Thanks for being here today and thanks for participating. Take care, everybody.